Hey, Tuisha. Hey, PMAC. How's everyone doing today? Hey, Yaha. What's going on? I'm just relaxing, got the day off, so we're going to finish up this piece. Hopefully today we'll have it done in about 2 hours. That's my goal. Hey, Catnap, what's going on? Hey, Echo. I wish it was better than the Minecraft movie, but it's not. But we'll get it there. It'll get there. I wish I had some of the creativity and freedom that some of these really talented artists that create all these things for movies and video games had. It's just I'd love to do. I really wanted to do designing as a kid, but just different paths. Alright, let me do this with a brown marker. Hey, Indian, welcome back. Yes, I remember last time you did say you were from Germany. Actually, my last name is German. Look at Piglin's Heath. Echo, how I am good. I am off from work today. Had some stuff to do early in the morning, and I'm here drawing for all y'all, so that is a heck of a day in and of itself. I hope everyone else's day was fantastic. And if not, well, hopefully they can get a little brighter here and continue it into the rest of their days. Now, this might look a little lighter than what's in the movie, and that's just because I'm really trying to just make this my own. And then we're going to relayer back with some darks and then some whites for the highlights. Hey, Georges, what's going on? Thank you, Luminal, and welcome in. So now when I add the marker back in with all this, get some nice textured effects, and it'll look all nice and smoothed out. I want it to look kind of dulled Don't want it to be a lot of detail because a lot of it's in the shadow, but it is still going to have some highlights because it is still metal. But I'm really keeping it loose because it's not really the central focus of this. Central focus is the face and then the arms. Everything else I want to keep kind of loose, not really that tightly rendered. Good bit of advice is look for what your intent is when you're drawing. Don't just necessarily draw because you want to tightly render the whole thing. Sometimes it's just a sketch. Sometimes it's more. Find and discover your intent, and you'll have a lot better time executing. Oh yeah, I mean I can understand that. Well, thankfully I try to, even though I will be kind of a goofball in other streams, I try to follow people that do it because they like it, regardless if it's speedrunners speedrunning video games or people playing anything, or just sometimes music streams. I generally want there to feel like they're doing it not only for you the viewer, but doing it because they genuinely like it. Me, I just find that I want to do this as a way of just connecting with the audience. Sometimes it's easier for them to ask questions in a live stream and easier for me to show it rather than just write it down in a comment. Okay. Now we can grab my nice little white out pen. Nice poodle. Poodle? It's a piggy, not a poodle. Winston, how are you though? Oh, hello, Poodle. I didn't see a Winston. Now it makes sense. Hey, Winston, how are you doing? Hope your day was nice. And I think I'm actually, before I add all that, I think I'm going to switch this up. Add some gray tones. Just a few. And I can just kind of dab them in. And by doing this kind of loose dabbing texture, we get all these nice little flowing highlights and shadows. When we sometimes tightly render, we lose the vitality that a piece can have. I like keeping things really a lot of movement in my drawings. I don't want there to be some stagnation. That doesn't mean one way is right or wrong, it's just how I like to achieve pieces. I like it to look like there's a lot of energy and movement. Kind of like what you'd see in an old school comic book or anime. It's okay to have an unfinished or an unpolished look. Gary Yeti, you made it. You made it to the live. I'm good. I'm so glad that you did. Hogs of War. I will say, Endian, I am a very big God of War fan, so that's immediately where my mind went, was instead of Hogs of War. Or I should have played War Pigs by Black Sabbath, but I don't want to get my channel struck, so Just pretend like it's playing mentally in the background. Hear Ozzy just saying, "Evil minds a plot's destruction." Did they actually play that in the scene where they fought? Just let me know if in the movie, in the Minecraft movie, did they actually play War Pigs? Because that would have been a perfect time to add that song and pay Black Sabbath whatever they wanted to just to have that in there. So if you've seen the Minecraft movie, just let me know. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I really like doing the creeper, even though it was a lot of just greens. It was still really fun to add all the little textures and details too. All right. So now I can pop back in and Chungus the chunky pig. There's a new iron golem that wears armor. The golem is the strong. Yeah, I've seen the golem characters in the game. Did they add him for the movie? That'd be kind of cool. It's trying to make a very big, blocky character look uber powerful and aggressive. And once again, we're not worrying too much about specific details, just popping in the highlights here and there because I don't want it to be too tightly rendered. I want this to be like the main showcase, and then the arms leading up and down to kind of push and pull. So I want your eye to actually come here and then zoom out. This is just kind of like a barrier, if you will. But I'm not really worried about how loose and how tightly rendered it could be. So something I was thinking about doing, and you guys can let me know in the chat, is doing an art giveaway for my live streams. So, like in a sense, maybe I would give this piece away, but you'd have to do like a code word in the comments afterwards at like some point. I'd say the code word, and then those who were there would have to do basically it'd be randomized, so you wouldn't know. And then from there, I would take the names, I'd whatever it was, and then I would do a giveaway. If that's something that you were interested in, do let me know because I don't mind giving away pretty much any piece. I have no connection to anything, so if it's something you're interested, just let me know. I'll probably put that in a community post within a day or so. And let me test this color. Yeah, it should be fine. All right, this is, as Bob Ross would say, the bravery test. Because we're just going to put one color across this whole arm section. And we got to hope it's good. Close. We'll be all right. Janice, what's going on? Oh, thank you so much. So you did. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how much did they cost you over in Ireland? They had to probably cost you a pretty penny. But I'm shocked because here in like the States, I can get them like $150 to $200 depending upon like how big of a set. And like the smaller sets are like 40 to $50, which I know only is 40 to $50, but you know what I mean. Yes, I do, Brayden. How are you? I only remember it because it's Braden and Calvin, and it's kind of like a unique. No one usually has two names in their thing. Say Chunky Chungus. Okay, I said Chunky Chungus. Now what do I get, Gary Eddie? I must know what I get for saying Chunky Chungus. Chuck E. Cheese. Actually, it's Chester Cheese. They got the 320 set for 200 cheaper than the. Okay, so for the 320 set, was it like this 320 set? Because I got these 320 sets. It has the fine point, but it might not have the brush nib. I don't know if the 320 set has the brush nib. I like these just because a lot. Not to say better. I like the brush nibs better, but the chisel and the point, they're really good for a lot of basic laying down like I do with this, and then color pencil work over the top. For a lot of the illustrative work like you do, it's going to work out pretty darn well. Plus, I might be getting a free sample of alcohol markers from a company on TikTok Shop, so I might do that as another giveaway. I'll have to see if they will or won't allow me to, or if they want me to keep them. So I will see about that as well. Please say the Nether. I don't know how you want me to say it. Is that like the Netherlands or the Nether regions? And if you don't know, that was actually from a movie. It was actually a funny comedy movie back in the day. The brush and the chisel. Oh, wow, that's actually pretty good for a brush and chisel. Now, because I have all these beautiful gray tones, I don't want to get rid of them, not by any stretch of the imagination. But I am going to use them as almost like basic landmarkers for when I pop in all my brown tones. Thank you so much, Gary. I always appreciate your comments. Thank you, Twisha. Is this a the problem, Henry? I can't draw John Cena, and there's one fundamental reason why I can't draw John Cena, because you can't see John Cena. You know, you can't see me. But let me see if I can find it. Was it here? Let me see if I can find it. Nope. I thought it was in this one. I could be wrong. Was that it? Was that it? Was that it? Was that it? No. Let me see if I can find it. I had a really cool Jey Uso drawing that I was working on. Let me just... 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. So this was a Jey Uso drawing that I was working on. I was thinking about seeing if I can get him to, after I worked on it, to see him to, somehow if I can get it to him. I doubt that it would work, but I'm just working on it. But that's more of like a pet project. I don't know if I'll do a video on it or not, but yeah. Can I draw Mike Tyson? I have drawn Mike Tyson. The problem is that's before he decided to sell out for a lot of money and not want to actually fight Jake Paul. But that's just my anger coming through that he should have actually knocked out Jake Paul because he pulled all of his punches. If you know boxing, he was pulling his punches for a payday. but that's just my opinion. I've seen enough boxing and MMA to know when someone's deliberately pulling their punches. Oh, thanks, Twisha. Yeah, I've done hundreds and hundreds of drawings on this channel. Different characters, all different types. And then sometimes pet projects that just never see the light of day because I either didn't like the way they came out or whatever. Could be a myriad of reasons why they just unfortunately don't see the light of day. They remain in the nether. So my goal is to have Dennis come out in 4 different styles. Um, Let me know in the comments because I'm going to work on that tonight. What 4 styles would you like to see Dennis come out as? I did draw the chicken jockey. It's actually out yesterday, and the video is actually doing very, very well because of all y'all. So thank you a bunch. But yes, I did the chicken jockey icon in 6 different styles, which is a little bit different than what I normally do. Artist for life, what's going on? Mandala drawings, mandala drawings, they are the one thing that I would definitely say is probably my weakest thing, and that's because it's senses of structure and symmetry. For those who do not know what a mandala is, it's usually a very intricate and ornate pattern. Doesn't have to be, but generally speaking, it is. And they kind of spiral out either in a square or a circle or some configuration of both. They are beautiful. They're very colorful, very vivid, lots of organic shapes. That's just like, well, if it's something that's really tightly structured, yeah, it's like the antithesis of what I draw. And there's a lot of sand mandala artists that are phenomenal. I watch them on TikTok right before I go to sleep because they help me relax. It's like a great way to deplug. Can you draw me? Who? Henry Torres, I don't know who you are, though. I wish if I did, but I don't know who that person is. But in general, I don't really draw a lot of portraits because portraits take up significant amount of time and have intrinsic value attached to them. And what I mean by that is how you see you and how you see family and friends, etc., have a lot more value. So I might recreate it, but it might not have the same value seeing it, or it might have more value, but it's harder because we see ourselves, our family, or friends and loved ones different ways. So unless I really know that person and know all the little idiosyncratic things to add to a portrait, it's really hard to do. So usually if I were and have done in the past, I would talk to the person because I want to know with a comedic person, add a little bit more crow lines, laugh lines. Were they more of a stern person, more frown lines? People might not understand that, but then psychologically we see those things. So there's little psychological nuances you have to add to a portrait instead of just making a blank replica. Otherwise, it gives like a really plastic porcelain look. And in a lot of my early portraits when I was a kid, they looked very almost doll like, my teachers would say. So, a way to avoid that is to really get to know the person that you're drawing, not just commissioning a piece because you're commissioning a piece that doesn't help anyone. Now, you might be saying some of these colors might not be existent in the image itself, but they really are. You just might not see them, and that's what makes it give it a little bit more life. Like when we look at our skin color, for instance, all these veins, they're going to give it greenish and blue and yellow hues. If you just made your skin just a flat peach, once again, going back to what we were just talking about, it would give it a really plasticine doll look. True Eagle, what's going on? Welcome in. I'm here, but I have no water on my system. Are they doing that? I'm seeing people do the ice bucket challenge again, and like, is that what this is? Is this back all of a sudden for reasons unbeknownst to me? You want me to say George's I am Steve, but I can't do the little eye. Hold on, do a little eyebrow, like do like the people's eyebrow raise. No, I do not. I live on the eastern coast there, Henry. I am an East Coast person. And here we are. And once again, because now we get all these beautiful little, we have all these grays, we get all these beautiful colors, but we still get that nice gray texture underneath, and it just gives it, like, once again, just that little bit of vitality, that little bit of life attached to it. Now, let me see if we can find my white little pen, ink pen. Where are you? Where are you? I need to pop some highlights on. Ah, here we are. Just a little dab here and there. It's in the shadow, so we're not going to go too heavy. But just for swirling in some bits here and there to bring it all together. Maria, is that your Thanos impersonation? Just the old finger, like, finger snap? I am Steve. Finger snap. Half of Minecraft goes away. Of the people that are here in chat, how many of you have seen my Steve Chicken Jockey and um, Technoblade videos? Because the support from that was very high, and I am really appreciative of all of you for all the wonderful comments about Technoblade specifically. I was really hoping that I would do that video justice. Well, SF, you can always take a peek at them. Later, don't miss. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Razteco, what's going on? Always glad to see familiar faces. That's like my favorite comment, because it always really is nice to see familiar faces in my comments and in my chat. Not only does it help build a sense of community, but also builds a sense of familiarity. Yeah, it was really sad to see him when I read about his story, because I was not familiar with him too much. But when I had seen his story, especially, and then read about it, and then several comments telling me that when he said Technoblade never dies, and then he literally passed away like the next day after that, that's like, oof. But sometimes that's just how it goes. We can feel our greatest. We give it that one last hurrah. So it's like he gave everything that he had for his community. It's a really beautiful thing when you think about it. So for Dennis, what 4 different styles would you like to see? Let me know in the comments, even if it's the craziest kind of art style you think of, or whatever, if it's a drip, a glow, a glitch, or whatever. So let me know what you think. And that's my cat going nuts in the background, because, you know, my cat's got to go nuts in the background. That's awesome. Roseanne, what's going on? Do I like Juice WRLD? I have no idea what Juice WRLD is. But I will ask, has anyone seen the Gaslight District from the Glitch channel on YouTube? Because I thoroughly enjoyed their pilot that came out a couple of days ago. If anyone is having problems with hair textures, a good way that I like to do them is to start from the dark and then pull your mid color from the dark out. And then don't just work in one direction, do change up in layers the directions. That will give it the more scraggly. If you want to smooth, then yes, just add everything in a smooth direction. But if you want it to look coarse and scraggly, then kind of just give it almost like an X pattern. Or like a little flicking curve, like mini C shapes. Will I do the Great Hog? Don't know what the Great Hog is. Let me take a peek. Because I did not see the movie, and I do not know, but we will take a peek. Great Hog. Minecraft movie. Oh, I would have thought that that was Malgosia just at first glance. Very interesting character. Looks really, really cool. That's definitely something to consider. I will keep this tab open because, yeah, that actually looks pretty intimidating and menacing. It's got lots of details, kind of like the symmetry of the some of the images that I see, and then some of the stark colors that are in it. So definitely interesting, something I will consider. Sadly, I had not seen it, so I always assumed like Malgosia would be something people would want to see. But you know what? I'll write that just down as a separate comment tomorrow and see what people think. Or I might just do it as like a short where I'll do like two sides, maybe like cheap alcohol markers, expensive alcohol markers, or cheap color pencils, expensive color pencils. That way I can get multiple videos out of it. But we'll see. It's definitely an image that does look nice. I was thinking about just doing the lava chicken in two different styles. Once again, because it's easy. I can do both pieces in like 2 hours. I'm going to lighten up because there is light crashing in on the side here, so we're going to make sure that we lighten up a lot of this with this really nice ginger root. It's got like a nice beige green tint to it, which will lighten up and give a nice, wonderful highlight quality without having to be a full highlight. And do remember that all highlights come, so this is like a perfect example. This side should be a lot more darker. Or I shouldn't say more darker. Great English, James. This side should be a lot darker. But you're still going to see a couple occasional hairs float over that will be dark. Conversely, this side should be exponentially more lighter, and it will add more highlight to it, but an occasional light hair will cross over, and that's how you'll get a hairy blend, if you will. But for the really add a lot more highlight, we're going to have to add this white, and it's okay that it is white because the white will dissipate and will thin out and it will dry lighter. Okay. Okay, let's do a little. We got a gray over here. I thought I had my grays set up. I do not have my grays set up. Not just yet. Now you might be thinking, oh man, I just ruined it because I'm adding this purple in. But once again, it's going to pick up all these nice little highlights and shadows that I'm sorry, it's going to pick up all these nice little shadows that I picked up. And I'm going to even scrub some of the black out of it and bring some of it down to blend it out. So that way, when I take my nice little white pencil, I can scrub that away and add that chalky grayness to the helmet. To the head. Skull. I can't use words today. I am completely wordless. But we do want to make sure that we are keeping some color here and there. We do want to have just these little pops of color because even though it's a skull, it's not just gray. If it was more of a cartoon image, then we would keep it 1 to 2 colors, or just gray and black and white. Can you do Hawkeye from the Avengers, Maria? I could, though Hawkeye's not really like a popular character. I can see why some people have an affinity for him, but I could. Not to say that I would, though. All right, cool, Gary. We'll see you in a bit. I have no idea who that is. I'd have to look her up. I don't know Twisha what musical style is, but I have no idea who she is or what her musical style is about. Once again, portraits take a heck of a lot of time. I'd love to do portraits, but they take up way too much time that sometimes they're mentally worth. So it becomes really hard to want to. Generally speaking, like my wheelhouse is anime, video games. Like, I know that I drew Jack Black, but that was only pertinent because of the Minecraft movie coming out. I wouldn't just draw Jack Black for the sake of just drawing Jack Black. Mainly because he portrayed a character that I knew people would just resonate with. And once again, now we pick up all that great little color. We pick up some other color from underneath, and then we just make the image our own, essentially. Go in with some nice browns here. Layer it over the top. And now we can apply the acrylic color right over the top. That's okay, Afton. It's no worries. You are here, and that's what's the important thing. So now we're just going to dab in the shadows and the textures, and then pop in some lowlights and highlights. I mean, midtones and highlights, and then all we got to do is finish the legs, then the arms, and boom, we'll be right in the home stretch of it. Ready, where are we? And I can never find colors whenever I'm looking for colors, but whenever I'm not looking for colors, they're just there. Very weird. My brain's weird, what can I say? Yeah, this'll work. This'll work. And if it doesn't, well then, oh well, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what I was looking for. A little pop of extra color before we add the highlight. Thank you so much, Henry. I really appreciate that. This will probably not have a part 3. We will probably be finishing this within an hour or so. But I do try to go live like once a week, sometimes more. But if you have any art questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help anyone along on their artistic journey. All right. Now, because this is significantly more in shadow, and pretty sure it's a loincloth, I'm going to go with that it's a loincloth and not necessarily fur. I'm going to throw in lots of just thick and heavy color. This is not going to be fur. It's going to be a lot more loose, and that's okay, because that is not the objective. This is just the bottom finishing out. And if it was supposed to be fur, well, now it's a loincloth, and no one will know, and that's okay. And if anyone says otherwise, well, too bad. It's my artwork. I can do whatever I want. Best part of art, and it's the most important rule of art, is have fun, and that's the important thing. Thank you so much, Henry. I appreciate it. When did I start drawing, or when did I start drawing this? Started drawing when I was a kid, and that was about 30-something years ago. When did I start drawing this? I did the first part 3 days ago on Sunday. Now, it might seem like I'm haphazardly scrubbing in lines. I'm not. One, I'm working off a reference image, but two, even if I wasn't, cloth has folds, and you have to follow those folds in space. You can't just down. Like, they're going to have crimps, they're going to have bevels, they're going to have movement that you have to make sure is in the piece and cannot be ignored, otherwise it will look distorted in a not good way. And scrub in some nice highlight here. Blend this out. Once again, keeping it nice and fun and loose, and that's okay because it's the bottom and we're not too concerned because that is not the objective. Yep, pretty happy with that. Now we'll move on to the right gauntlet, which is going to be interesting because it looks like lots of wraps, which we might go back to the acrylic paint pens here, mainly because I love their coverage, but also because I think it'll just do exactly what I want to do, and that's layer in the sections with a nice bold color. Yeah, I think I like this way a lot better. And now I can just fill in the color here. And work all the color pencil work underneath. Actually work with the brush tip. And once again, a good tip for working with alcohol markers with a brush is not, you don't go down. We work on the side and we work with a light, we're working with the tip, just the edge, and that's how you'll keep everything from overly blending and splotching and getting too much color in one area. Be a little less bleeding into another color if you do it this way. If you go like this, you're going to ruin your tip's going to get frayed, and you're going to bleed out a lot more ink or pigment overall. So it's a good way to preserve your markers. Treat your supplies good and they'll treat you good. Treat your supplies like garbage and you will get garbage results. Okay. All right. Oops, sorry. Let me scroll back here. So there's a whole bunch of comments, so I do apologize. What kind of markers can layer? Any marker can work in layers. Generally speaking, I like to work with alcohol markers first, and then use uh, acrylic paint pens over the top of that. And that's just because when an acrylic paint pen is down, it's down. It doesn't change. It will often be harder to put any medium over the top, color pencil, etc., unless you're working with another acrylic paint pen. So I start all of my base stuff with an alcohol marker, but usually end with an acrylic paint pen because of its permanence. Please show Jay Uso. I just showed Jay Uso a second ago. I can pop it back up there in a second. Hey, Afton. But yeah, that's Jay Uso. Be right back. And chicken jockeys. So say chicken jockeys as loud as I can. I am not going to because I have people in the house and I'm not going to scream like a crazy person in the house. I keep everything low key. I'm a pretty chill person for the most part, so I don't go banana sandwich unless I need to. Messi or Ronaldo? Well, my nephew is a huge Lionel Messi fan. Like, massive, and it was like his dream when he got to actually see him play when the team came up tier. So he was like pumped to see him. He is a big soccer fan. I used to play soccer when I was a kid, but just kind of fell out of it. Played a lot of hockey and a lot of football as a kid, American football. And Henry, you were asking before about showing my face. If you look on many of my videos, I've shown my face numerous times in the past. I know that's like a thing. I think people just like connect with faces, but yeah, if you look at a lot of my videos, I've shown my face numerous times. And that's my cat just meowing annoyingly. Buddy, what's up? All right, now we just add all the little fine details, and we'll be good. Get our nice sepias and browns and all the wonderful striations of colors, and I'll be into the home stretch. Would I rather quit drawing and painting? I wouldn't rather quit any of them. But if I had a choice, I can only quit one, I would quit painting. Painting has a longer setup time, and I knew it wasn't going to last. Has a longer setup time, and sometimes the squeeze is not worth the juice. Hey, Kyle, what's going on? How many art supplies? Yeah, I've got lots of art supplies. I've got like almost 1,000 different alcohol markers, a couple hundred acrylic paint pens, hundreds and hundreds of color pencils. It's not like this isn't a humble brag or like a mic drop thing. It's just when you work in mixed media and you work to do a lot of the art supplies drawing that I do, you need a lot of different variations of both color and supplies. It's not like a humble brag. It's just if you want to do that and you want to have achieve a certain look, you're going to need a lot of supplies. But yeah, thanks for noticing. All right, it's going to stay like that. This is going to get a lot of just scrubbed out into one color because it's mostly in the shade. And thank you so much all for stopping by. It means an immense to me, and it also keeps me going while I'm drawing to listen and to comment to all y'all in the chat. So thank you so much. Because otherwise I would just be bored to tears. And I don't want to be bored to tears. I'd rather just sit here and enjoy drawing for everyone in the comments and in the chat. So do we have any gamers in the chat? Did I draw Thanos? No, I have not drawn Thanos yet. I'm not really a big fan of the new Marvel concepts that they've come out with. I think they've just gotten too big for their britches. I'm just not a fan of the fact that they've altered a lot. They didn't add a lot of characters. They didn't add a lot of the correct characters in the right spots. Like no Adam Warlock. Like he's the most important character in the battle with Thanos. We just don't add him. Things like that. It's just I don't know. To me, I know they're making it their own, but in the same way, if you're going to almost follow identically what happened in the movies. I mean, in the books, into the movies, you should kind of add some of the most important key characters, but that's just me. That's just like, old man, get off my lawn. So it is proverbially is what they say what it is. Please say Sigma. Henry, you like me saying a lot of things. I play Fortnite. I used to play Fortnite. I was like when it first came out many moons ago, and then it just shooters are not really my thing because I am currently playing two games. One is Skyrim, not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered because I remember playing the original Oblivion and loving the heck out of it. So I'm getting to rewatch it now, and I'm enjoying that. And I also I just downloaded and played a little bit of Claire Obscura Expedition 33, which is really good so far in the first hour that I've played it. I'm like, oh, this is just going to be so good. It's going to be heartbreaking, but I can tell it's still going to be good. It's like, when you play a game, it's just going to rip your soul out and you're still going to enjoy it. I think that's that game. To me, it has Game of the Year potential already. Expedition, if you just look up, it's called Claire Obscura. If you just look up Expedition 33, I probably can pull up a thing. Let me see. Claire Obscura. Expedition 33. Wikipedia page. Copy link address. Yeah, boom. It's this game. And boom. Yeah, it's that. Yeah. When I saw the pre-releases for this, I'm an RPG person. I love RPGs. So when I saw the pre-release for this, I was just like, holy fill in the blank bleep. How many times? Like, this is like right up my alley. It's everything I want. It's like Elden Ring, but in a turn base. So it's got the skill, but it's also got, an RPG. So it's got like Persona RPG turn-based elements. Yeah, I'm a huge Persona fan. Probably my favorite series games. That's a classic JRPG. Call of Duty, nice. Yeah, I used to play a couple of shooters way back in the day, but it's just the rinse and repeat for me is a little tedious at times. Though I will say, I used to love Mortal Kombat just because you can pick it up and play it kind of like whenever, and that kind of notion was just always been really fun for me. Just like, oh, I want to play a couple of matches, boom. Like Street Fighter, same thing. Just want to pick it up and play it for a couple, get in there, get a couple of wins, get out, play story mode for a bit, etc. Have not played it in forever, so I'd probably stink to high heaven if I even tried. So, yeah. Haley's, um, I remember commenting on a video you did, and I want to say it was about proportions, or was it about hands? Which one? No worries, Twisha. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's great to have you back in the comments. Um, Haley's, was it about the hands or was it about proportions in your last video? Because if you tell me, then I can remember and I can remember where to go from there. Didn't see my comment. It's on my phone. All right, let me go and check real quick. Bear with me. Go to my YouTube channel. All right, let me go to my replies. Sorry, bear with me, everyone. Just looking up. I have to like now scroll through because I don't have my phone because I record on my phone. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. That was for Lizzie Haley's. So that was for Lizzie, who I commented on her thing. If what do you find is your biggest problem that you're working with right now? Like, what do you find as like the biggest struggle for you? So yeah, if you just let me know like what's the biggest thing you're struggling with, I can help you out. Probably the sketching part. Okay, so this is where we'll pull up my fancy schmancy backup sketchbook if I can find where my backup sketchbook is. Backup sketchbook. All right, where is my backup sketchbook? I just had it here the other day. Okay, no. Nope, it's not that. There. It's not that. Ah, here we are. Yep, okay, perfect. So here's the practice backup sketchbook thing that we've been working on in previous streams. So the biggest thing, if you're going to start any draw, are you talking full body or are you talking just like parts of something that you're having a problem with? Thank you so much, Teddy. I really appreciate that. So, excuse me. Are you talking a full body? Perfect. Okay. So let's just say you want to draw. Do you like anime? Do you like, is there a specific character so that way I could pull it up and I can show you a reference? Like, is there a specific anime character? Is there a specific comic book character or just even a person? Gojo? Okay. So let me pull up an image of Gojo and we can go from there. All right, so I'm going to show you how we do pull up. How we would pull up doing him when he does this as like a whole image. So basically what you want to do is start from top to bottom. We now know how tall he is. Now we can, if we're taking it and we're working off a direct measurement, I can then take my hands like this and then measure out, okay, his head's going to be this, this, and this. So for instance, and you can't see because I'm doing it off screen, I know that Gojo is about 5.5 to 6 heads tall. So I'm going to go like this. That's going to give me my head. And this is called the action line. Your action line is going to start directly down and then work down to the body. You're going to know exactly where your shoulder is going to be. So in this particular instance, his shoulders are slightly skewed. They're slightly tilted. They're not like this. They're not this. They're slightly contoured because the hip has got a slight displacement. And then he has the one-legged bent. And then the one leg straight. From there, we bring everything in. Hand. Up. Boom. If you ever see a lot of these like popular videos on social media, it'll all start with a stick man and then it goes like super, super, super fast. This is essentially what they're doing. This is blocking it in. So then if we're doing Gojo super fast within like a minute, you taper his face in, spiky hair, and then you're just building it up in layers. So we know that the wraparound on the cloth happens here. And you work in block shapes. I find block shapes work better. Some people say don't use block shapes, but that's just me. I'm a traditional artist in that way where I have learned to use images in a certain way. And we just keep refining more and more and more. And this is just the sketching phase. Like, this will help you get better. And then you just more and more and more and more refine. Let me sharpen my pencil because it's blunt. So I know this is a Piglin drawing, folks, but bear with me because we do art tutorials here and I do want to help people. So I now have to print the screen. And of course I didn't do that correctly. Print screen. Make this, save it. So basically what I'll do is I will screenshot the image and I will make it bigger and I'll blow it up. So that way I can really get all the details that I want to see. So for instance, in this, where I really want to see his face, I'll see that the head that I originally is slightly skewed. So it's going to have a turn like this. So when I start drawing in the hair, it's going to have a slight bump here. Slight bump for his mask. It comes down, it comes up, comes down, but it goes back up. His ears are disproportionately big than most characters, especially within anime. Jawline comes down. Hood. Jawline. Down. The nose takes a little bit of a curve in, and the reason why the nose takes a little bit of a curve in is because the head is once again tilted slightly to the side. I have to change this, and all these little things are still not permanent. That's why it's called the sketching phase. So as we then build up and build in blocks, we can change stuff. And then we can erase away. I'm doing this as fast as I can while still trying to make it look like Gojo. So once again, bear with me. I'm not reading the comments. I'm just kind of talking through this. So if people are commenting, I do apologize. We'll get back to your comments in 1 second. And then we crazy hair. But as you can see, that's how you take an image, worked in a base stick figure, right? Contrapposto pose, legs down. Then we did a blocking in. Now, as you block in more, you'd work more, get the folds in. And that also helps you determine where your lights are. Hand, same thing. So I'll just quickly, for reference sake, draw in the hand. I would never do this unless the arm was in. I like to keep the sketch loose. You're not sitting there going like, this isn't sketching. That's sketching. Getting it down. Bang. Hand, finger. Finger. Just getting it down on the page, you can correct later. Get it down, then you can then, once it's there, you're like, oh, the elbow is a little long. Elbow needs to cut short there. No, the elbow is long. It needs to go there. Whatever. You can correct later. Getting each thing down on the page and then work bit by bit by bit by bit. That will help you get your sketching done better over time. Now let me go back to the comments. Bart Does Art. Welcome, Bart Does Art. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with your channel. Wow, 237,000 subs. Bart, welcome to the channel. And of course, I once again turn off the... excuse me. Long day. Still gotta get my coffee in. Where's my comment section? Give me back my comment section. Welcome, Bart. Sorry I did not see your thing. I was answering a whole bunch of comments for Haley's about basically content and drawing and how I go through my sketching process. But thank you so much. Welcome in. Can I draw a Deadpool live stream? I may draw a Deadpool. The problem is if I were to draw Deadpool live, I'd have to do it like when a movie comes out. I generally try and do things that people will look for. I know it sounds kind of sad to say, but it's like I do try to keep it relevant to what's going on. So in this particular movie, since Minecraft movie is really popular, I don't mind drawing a lot of video game characters. It kind of works hand in hand. I did draw a lot of Deadpool when the Deadpool movie came out. I drew him like at least 3 or 4 different times. So once again, I just try to make sure that it's relevant to the time. So like when the Lilo and Stitch movie comes out in a couple weeks, I'll be doing a ton of Lilo and Stitch. And then when FNAF comes out, the new FNAF game comes out in like mid-June, I'll be doing a ton of FNAF, probably from June all the way till mid-July. And then I'll see whatever the next relevant thing that's coming out that people will be popping off about. As long as it's in like the gaming, anime, art genre, that's pretty much what you'll guarantee me drawing. Oh, thanks, Haley's. I really did want to actually go for art teaching, but I actually don't think I am a good art teacher. Not necessarily in the most traditionalized sense, but I guess that's a to each their own kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, everyone has their strengths and everyone has their weaknesses, and sometimes teaching isn't one of my fortes. It's easier when it's done like this than it is in a classroom. Also, find your style too. You know, find your style, what you like to draw, and you'll just draw for hours more than you would if you didn't know. Oh yeah, when Shrek, like Henry, when Shrek 6 comes out, I'll be doing like Shrek, I'll be doing Donkey, I'll be doing, whatchamacallit, what's her face? Fiona. Like I will be doing all of the major Shrek characters because Shrek came out like the original Shrek came out before a lot of many of my subscribers was born, and I was watching that as a kid, like as an 18-year-old, like 18-year-old, like yeah, I was watching when I was like 18 years old with my young cousins when it first came out at my grandmother's house. We were like, oh my God. No, actually, wait, it came out in the 90s. The first Shrek movie? Oh, now I have to see this is what happens. Now I have to Google it. Shrek. Nope, the first one, 2001. I was right. Okay. Yeah, so I was like 17, 18. I was a young kid. I was watching it with my cousins. It was like, huh, but it was incredibly well made. Can I draw Hawkeye next, please? I would draw Hawkeye, except it's not my cup of tea. I'm so sorry. Just like I'm just not. I'm not like. I wouldn't even want like I don't know. The Marvels are just not my. They are and they aren't. Like I love Marvel, but there are just some characters that are just not my thing. And chiefly among them, he's like one of the things that's just not my thing. I'm sorry, Maria. I do apologize. What's my favorite art? Oh, I'm sorry. First off, Rosie, if I didn't say it, welcome in. But what's my favorite art from a YouTube short? It's probably one of the FNAF drawings that I did, and I can show you that in a second. Because I was thinking about making this into merchandise, but I have to find it. So let me take a peek if it's here. Is it here? No, it's probably not. Let's take a peek. It's in one of these binders, and I have to find it. Herein lies the problem, trying to find all this stuff that I drew at one point or another. Nope, it's not in that one. It's not in this thing. I'm pretty sure it was in this big thing. Bear with me, folks. E-Games, what's going on? Welcome back. Hope everyone is doing awesome today. And I'm trying to find art and showcase it on my... Oh, yeah. This is probably my favorite video, that piece I did for shorts videos. It was kind of like an amalgamation of all four FNAF characters as like one new animatronic. I just really love the overall aesthetic and design of like each pin connecting the other face to the next. Yeah, it's kind of Henry, we don't talk religion. It's like one of those things I just don't talk about. Religion and politics, just we don't talk about in this channel. It's just so divisive, and it just doesn't lead to anything good. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I was thinking about making it as a piece of merchandise that people can put like as a shirt or a hoodie. Oh, that's right. It is Shrek 5, not Shrek 6. Sorry. That's cool, Henry. Hey, Braden, welcome back. DLC Chica. Was that, you mean like, which, that's not Toy Chica. Which DLC? What's my least favorite piece of art? Probably one that I erased a while back, but yeah, generally it's just something that I never completed, and you might never see it, and that's okay. Show Michael Jackson. I did the Thriller Michael Jackson, but I'm just trying to get this piece done because if I keep showing art, I'm not going to get this done, and I really want to get this done in the next bit because I'd like to go eat dinner and I am hungry. As I cannot find the markers that I just have. Oh, here we go. All right, let's get this going. We are in the home stretch. That is not the marker that I was looking for. Here we are. Alrighty, and here we go. Oh, Ruined Chica. Let me take a peek. I don't know if I've ever done specifically Ruined Chica. I did Toy Chica. I've done regular Chica. I've done a couple, I think, other variants. I think Glam Rock, if I'm not mistaken. So I could take a peek, but yeah, I definitely, like I said, plan to do a bunch of the FNAF characters, and when the movie comes out, I'll probably put out like polls like I've been doing. See what characters people want me to draw next. Because I do leave it in the hands, but I try to leave it as a poll and not just open to, hey, I would like you to see you draw this, because if it's what the masses want, that's what's to me more important with my channel. I would like to see what everyone wants, not just the, and I'm not one of these people like, hey, sub and I'll do it. Like that's never going to be me. I'm not gonna be one of those people like, if you give me 5 subs. I hate when some of these streamers like eBay. That's just usually deters me from watching a streamer. It's like the minute like, y'all haven't been giving subs in a while. If you don't do this, then I'm leaving. I hate that. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've always worked hard, and it's just I don't believe in that. I believe if somebody wants to do something, you should do it genuinely. So yeah. What is my favorite Michael say the Nether from the Nether from the Michael. I just did, Braid. Hey, Rizan, welcome back. It's so amazing to. Oh, thank you, eGames. If you have any art questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to try and help you out. Haley's was asking a really awesome question earlier, so I was glad to help her. So if anyone has any questions, that's what I am here for. I am not above reproach. Go right ahead and ask whatever you'd like. I'm not a problem of helping you, no matter how complicated or how simple, if I can help you. Draw Juice World. I have no idea what Juice World is. I'd have to take a look. My favorite Michael Jackson song is probably Pretty Young Thing or The Way You Make Me Feel. One of those two. Yeah, one of those two probably is probably one of my favorite. I mean, I'm not going to go with like, Thriller, Beat It, or whatever. I mean, that's just kind of, like everyone's favorites. But yeah, I like his 80s and late 70s upbeat stuff was really cool. Okay, let me just throw in some here. Do you like the Minecraft movie? I've yet to actually can you see my chicken jockey drawing? Tucker, if did you draw the chicken? It's on your channel. If you want, you can at me. I will take a peek out of it while I'm eating dinner. And if you want me to give you an honest critique, I shall do so. But remember, it will be an honest critique. Or if you want me to ask you what I can work on, I can help you with that as well. If you guys at me in anything, I will take a peek at it. I do promise. So yeah, if you're like, hey, I'm having problems with fill in the blank, I drew this, what do you think? And Tucker, that's okay. Everyone's gonna start somewhere. You know, my niece, she's incredibly young. When she didn't realize, thank you so much, eGames. When she started, she didn't realize, like, she thought like, oh my God, I'm not that good, I'm not that good. Then I just started showing her art when she was 8, and then she didn't realize how much she'd gotten better since that time. It's like, it takes time, and it's okay to understand that it takes time. As long as you're willing to put the commitment in, you will get better. But I have a lot of like beginner and new artists in my channel, Tucker, so don't feel discouraged. It takes a lot of courage to showcase something when you're first starting out and trying to put it out there. That's half the battle of bravery of getting on the internet, is knowing that, there are going to be people who might not like it for whatever reason and just want to be jerks about it, but I commend you for that because most people don't have the heart to do that. Oh, thank you, Braden. That's really nice of you to say. Alrighty, and now we'll just be putting in a couple of highlights and whatnot from the sword, and we'll be just about finished on this fun little piece. Braden, I don't really do PFP drawings. I have a lot of people asking for them. Unfortunately, I just don't do them because whenever I've done a lot of things of a very similar nature in the past, it became really toxic asks where people would just be like, "Oh, can you do mine? Can you do mine? Can you do mine?" And then it's all people want to see, but there is no real aesthetic enjoyment out of it. It's like, okay, you did my PFP, cool. And a couple times people have then used my artwork because all they have to do is click copy and paste and then use it on their own profile or whatever. And that, yeah, I just was like, okay, I'm mentally now done with this. So it becomes hard when people are just, their sole investment is to see this done. And then once it's done, it's like they have no other care to stick with the channel. So that's why I generally stay away from PFP drawings. Like, yeah, you'll gain followers, but they're not people that want to follow you. They just want that thing that will get them to follow, and then they'll dust or they'll unsubscribe, which is just like equally just as bad. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but it became really toxic when I was doing name arts, when it'd be like, can you do this name, that name, this name? And then they would just disappear. You would be like, oh, wow, these people were in my comments for weeks and months, and then they got their name and then they toasted and then it was like gone. It was really hard because my numbers shot up really fast and then they plateaued and then they were just gone and then they just never came back. And I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Okay. So long and short of it, that's why I don't do PFPs. Well, thank you, Rosie. I appreciate that. Braden, if you look up on my channel, I have shown my face numerous times on my channel. Actually, in a short I did a couple of weeks ago, I showed my face. So my face has been on my channel dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I am not a boogeyman that hides, I swear. Carly, what's going on? How are you? Okay, Tucker, I will take a peek as soon as we're finished, and I will give you some positive advice on what you can work on, etc. Is there a specific issue that you find you might be having an issue with drawing or coloring that you want me to take a look at? I can definitely then help narrow down your critique. Bye, E-Games. Thank you so much for stopping by. Gustavo, welcome. Deluxe. Deluxe, thank you so much for the subscription and welcome in. If you have any questions, we'll be at this for a couple more minutes. Feel free to ask. I am more than happy to help. But thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate that. Rosie, how old are you or how old is Tucker? I am in my 40s. I am old. I would tell people please refrain from telling your age in the comments just because you would always like to protect yourselves, especially if you are a youngin'. I would not say my age. I do not want to have to delete any things, but just, yeah. Just, I would refrain from doing that, guys, because I don't want to have to delete comments, but it makes it easier. Please don't do it. Once again, this might not be necessarily what's in the movie or the poster itself. I'm just adding it for my own little artistic nature. I'm not looking to make an exact replica. I'm looking to make something that I would be aesthetically pleased with looking at. And I just realized you can't see this at all. You've been seeing my arm wiggle back and forth. That's wonderful, because I've been moving the paper around. This is pro streamer stuff, folks. Pro streamer stuff. You can't get this level of proness anywhere else, like not seeing the drawing, your hands covering it because you're not looking at the screen. It's just like high level stuff. Yeah, like just Tucker, I would just don't. I don't want to have to delete comments. Just like it's easier. Yeah, Roseanne, I have been drawing for over 30 years. I took a break, and my niece was the one that brought me back to art. Let me pull up, just see where I want to pop in some blues in this helmet. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Now that we've gotten all that color pencil work in, I can take this nice acrylic paint pen and just pop in some bits of color. They will dry a lot lighter. And this is just for my own sake. Popping in little bits of blues here and there. Not a lot because we don't want to overpower it, but we also want to add just a little flare of color. This is just something I like to do. If you're going to put it here and here, you want to put it a little bit everywhere. It's what's called cohesion in a piece. Might not necessarily be what's correct and aesthetic, but it actually makes it look more realistic in the long run. And then add some nice dark black blues with some paint pens. I have drawn Godzilla. That's because a while back, and I had that video where it was a me versus my niece Godzilla drawing challenge. That was like 2 years ago. When if I finish this one, will be my next one. So don't know about that one just yet. I am going to be working on Dennis in 4 different styles, and from there, we'll see because I have a poll out right now to see what's going about. Thank you so much, Artie. Hey, everyone, if you are still here with me, go to Artie with Marty and give him a subscribe because he is a wonderful artist and he does really cool illustrative pieces. So if you like my stuff, you'll love his stuff. But what's my next one going to be? Well, Rizan, happy birthday, belated, because I might not see you unless I see you in the comments for one of my shorts. Um, what you call it? It'll probably be something, either Malgosia or Great Hog. That will probably be something I'll be working on for a live, or I might do it in 2 different parts. I'll have to see. It all depends upon what the chat really wants, so we shall go from there. Endian, have a good night. The stream is just about to end anyway, so thank you so much for stopping by and get a good night's sleep. But yeah, Dennis will be up in 4 different styles, and then I think it's going to be Dream. People really want to see Dream, but we'll see from there. It's all up to you in the comments. But thank you all so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I think this piece is done. We just got to give it a little signature. So let me get my pen and just give it my little signature, and then we are done with this piece. Thank you so much for stopping by. Read my text. I just did, Braden. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you all in the next video.